Here we are working on the 52 Ford truck fenders again. We're gonna strip some more paint and all the Bondo off and see what's under the paint and see how much rust we have to repair. And we'll start repairing rust. So here you can see we've stripped it using just one of these purple paint stripper. They work great. It's a fairly large area. It's about a 12 inches long by 6 inches tall area I need. So I've cut a piece of steel larger, and we'll see what we can do on the English wheel to make this piece. It's got a slight curve in that direction and then a larger curve in here. So we'll have to curve it both ways. So put your piece in, lock it in, and we want to go lengthwise first. Basically just keep it away from the edge and keep moving it back and forth, doing I usually do a Z pattern. I've never been trained in this. I'm just doing what comes naturally, so I could be doing it wrong. Don't kill the messenger. And you can go over it again. I remember. Just gotta watch you don't pinch your fingers. And I've got only a very shallow die in there right now, because I don't need a large curve for this portion. And I'm going to tighten this up. Yeah, we've got a slight curve. I don't know if you can see that. And if we match it to that, well, I've got to pound down some rust, but for now, I think that's good. Now I just got to make this bend like that. So I'm going to change out the die for a larger curve. And this one. Okay. This way. And I'm going to basically concentrate on the one edge because that's the only edge that's curved. And I think I need some more pressure. Getting there. I would say that's fairly good. There is some flexibility to it and movement still, but that's just the way of the panel too. But once I actually cut it out of this will be, you won't need, I'm only needing the inside portion where it's mostly curved. So I'm going to call that good right there, and I will mark out this, cut it out, and mark out that to match it. Here's the piece I cut out of the piece I used on the English wheel. It's just rough cut now. It needs to be trimmed some more. But as you can see, it very nicely holds the contour there, and a little bit there. You can just a little bit of pressure once we're welding it, and it'll be perfect. Just gotta trim it along the bottom and along the top just to make it flush. We're butt welding this, so it will be a very good patch, and hopefully you won't see it once everything's done to it. Here's the patch piece, just held in by magnets. It's ready to get welded and tack welded in. It came out very good. Just a little bit of prodding and grinding and slight bending, and I think it'll look perfect. So here's the patch, just tacked in. It came out very good. Not going to finish fully welding it in. There is some rust right under here and here. I'm going to cut that out and make a panel for that, and we'll tack everything in all at once. And then eventually, once the bodywork's being done on this fender, just a little skim coat I think on there. And then I'm going to attempt, we tried to look for patch panels. You can buy them, but since everything's shipping wise is closed because of COVID-19, I'm going to attempt to make that panel, just as I did the other one. We'll see how that goes. So here's my attempt at fixing the bottom of the driver's fender. This is the inside. You can see there's a stiffening brace that's rotten through. On the outside, I've shown you before, there's a huge rot hole, so I made this piece. I used the English wheel a little bit to give it a good curve on both directions, and then I marked out all my lines so I know where to put it back when we're adjusting things. We're going to put a few clecos. We'll show you that soon. Basically drilling holes and clamping it with clecos. Then what I'm going to do, right now we don't have the proper wheel to tip this over, so I'm going to make pie cuts, bend it over, and then weld them all back together. And it's maybe not the proper way, but right now we don't have the tool, so we're gonna make do with what we have. That's what a cleco is. We'll show you how to install it right away. You have to drill a 1/8 inch hole to where you want to put the cleco. And that's how you install it. You have installation tool, basically clamps on it, and I'll show you the back side of them. You can just barely see it spreads out and holds the sheet metal, so I can do cutting, I can do bending, and it'll hold it in place. And I know exactly where it's supposed to go after I take it off and to do modifications. All done, the welding and the grinding on the Fender patch panels. A lot of grinding. We're gonna be putting we're gonna have to put Bondo on here, obviously. It's not gonna be too bad. I had to do some pie cuts here to make it fit in perfectly, but that's all good. This patch now is almost perfect. Won't need, you just need a little skim coat of Bondo on there. So that's almost it for this fender. We'll just have to strip it to bare metal and find out any other dings or any cracks that we'll have to fix. But other than that, this fender's done, and now on to the passenger fender, which I think is a little worse. So wish me luck.